Okay. You know what?
You guys, Mercury retrograde is doing her thing.
Welcome to Empaths Anonymous.
A space for dreamers, healers, and feelers, navigating the fine line between putting yourself first and holding space for others.
If you struggle with balancing your needs while still supporting your tribe, then you're in the right place.
Welcome to the support group. Let me just tell you that we have had not even just a day. We've had a week.
It's been a week. It's been some days in a row.
Yeah.
I really want to confirm what I told you earlier. I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
I'm talking in my vocal fry.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I sound like that. I'm really not trying to sound like that. I'm congested. It's disgusting.
No, I was saying that because I'm trying to speak more in my lower register.
And so, like, for real. Hello?
Also,
hello?
Can we get a moment for my makeup?
Fenty?
I know the Rare Beauty blush trio that I got during the Sephora sale. I used the blush and the highlight, and I accidentally went ham on the highlight, and I put it down the bridge of my nose, and I was like, wait, why did I do that? I never do that. But I kind of like it.
It's a moment.
It's very subtle.
And it's because it's a tinted highlighter, is it not?
Yeah.
It's like a rose goldy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
and it's
cute.
not like a 2016 blinding highlight for the gods. It's like very...
mine is actually more like that. Mine is that elf cream one.
It, though. Yours just makes it look... You just look wet. You just look
hell
dewy.
Yeah. I love being wet. Get me out of here. Okay, I was gonna check my... No, you said Jupiter, Mars, Mercury.
Yeah,
my Jupiter's in Virgo.
Mine too.
Okay.
That's why we're perfectionists.
Sick. Not my rising or sun.
Right.
No, not that.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But Maddie was explaining that when you have your Jupiter in Virgo, your luck and abundance comes from being orderly, put together, ducks in a row.
Oh, my ducks are always in a row. Neat. Not one of them are out of line.
They're
ever.
rowing so they are lined up so hard.
But my Mercury and Mars are both in Sag and in my 12th house.
Ooh, 12th house. We're going over 12th house this week.
Okay, let me know.
12th house is ruled by Pisces, and it's the dreamy, spiritual, higher power, other side, occult house.
Okay, so that being in Sagittarius for me.
You're expansive, adventurous, curious, philosophical.
I do philosophize. Often. Okay, that's that. Enough of it. I was apologizing because our video quality is going to be what it is today.
Yes.
Because if you are watching the webcam quality video, let me show you something.
Yeah.
That actually just happened today. This is the cord that we use, one of them.
Yeah.
To plug our
fizzled.
camera, a very expensive camera, into my computer. It lit the wires just fell out.
Yeah.
It wasn't connecting. And we were like, what's going on? I can't see ourselves. I don't understand.
Why is our camera not turning on?
I don't understand. So then I'm like checking the cord that's connected into the camera.
And the cord's just
broken. I literally take it out like this. And the port and the whole other section of this is still stuck in the camera. Anyway.
For those of you who can't see and are just hearing, it's busted. Let's just say that. The cord's busted.
It is busted.
Yeah.
So... lesson learned, we will be unplugging things from now on. I don't know why that happened.
All that aside, hello and welcome to a very chaotic episode of Empaths Anonymous podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Danie.
And today we are going to look back at 2024 and reflect and say what we're grateful for and just have a very reflective type of episode, which is very Sagittarius coded. It's very end of the year Sag.
Yes. Welcome to Sag season, all our feeler babies. It's been a time so far. Despite everything that's been kind of going on this last week, I think we've mostly enjoyed the beginning of it. Wasn't the start of Sag season Marcello? Or like a couple days prior?
21st or the 22nd. So Marcelo, we hit it hard, you guys. Should we just recap what the fuck our weeks have been the last 2 weeks?
Yes, let's go for it. I know. I feel like we've been, very business casual. So let's give the feelers an update.
On the 21st, we went and saw Wicked. Technically opening night. It was technically opened. It was like the 22nd, but we went like late on the 21st.
Correct.
So, and you guys know that already because you saw. Hopefully, you listened to the episode. If not, go back. Unless you don't want spoilers, I understand that too. But also, like, get your ass in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
It broke records. I was going to tell you that. It is now the highest grossing movie musical of all time. It beat Grease.
Oh.
And it's only been out for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
It surpassed fucking Grease, which has been out for what, 40 years?
A long periodically time.
Bitch.
Oh, Sandy. Oh, Sandy.
I do love Grease, but now
I love Grease.
It's just a little problematic.
It's
now.
misogynistic, and we're gonna take that for what it is at the time that was normalized.
Yeah.
So
we went and saw Wicked. Had a time.
I'm Sandra D.
We went to BJ's, had some drinks before.
Y'all need to get your ass down to the BJ's because they got a $13 dinner special. It's value menu. I feel like we can't even get McDonald's for $13 anymore.
Entree, you get. I got like a mini pizza, which was honestly, I couldn't even eat the whole thing. I cut it in half. It was a deep dish. Barbecue chicken pizza. You can choose, I think, any flavor that you want, any pizza. Mm-hmm. And then it came with a salad, right? A side salad?
A side salad with that one.
Yes. And I got a Pizookie.
With the Pizookie with
for
it.
$13, you guys. You can't even
and
get
we took it to go. We took that shit into the theater.
We did.
It was so good.
And what did you got the Mediterranean bowl?
I got a Mediterranean chicken bowl situation. I think it was like quinoa and rice and chicken and olives and peppers and things that are Mediterranean.
A healthier option. I enjoy that.
It was really good. I also had leftovers.
Yeah.
Their espresso martini was really good. I did sub out their disgusting well vodka for Tito's, of course, because they wanted to put New Amsterdam in there. And I said, what is that?
Disgusting.
And he was like, just get the Tito's. And I was like, I will, you sad man. Server was so sad.
He kind of was in a mood.
He was in a little bit of a mood.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there. There was a football game on, which I never have thought of the fact that like we could go to BJ's, especially with that $13 deal. We could go to BJ's and watch a fucking Padres game.
We are. We're gonna be around the town.
Why have I
just
never
wait till
thought of
spring
that?
training? I don't know because I guess it does get so
be out
busy
and about.
It's not close. It's not. I mean, it's not far, but it's not close.
Maybe that's gonna be our thing. Maybe we should create a group for people who want to watch Padres games together.
Here in the T-towns.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That would be a hot ass group.
And then maybe like we go to a game all together once during the season. But
like friends.
We go all around the towns of Temex and we just watch the Padre games together.
Yes.
Let's do that. Sorry if you guys aren't local. You can't. I mean, I guess you can travel.
We'll
if
live
you
stream.
Want to, but ooh.
Meet us.
Yeah, anyway, so we did that on Thursday. And then Saturday we went to see Marcelo Hernandez.
Yes, and we ate at Madison in San Diego. And you guys, it's so good. One of those places that's like, first of all, the restaurant is open air. Okay?
Yeah.
They have like some coverings, but in the middle is like open. They have heaters. It's so gorgeous.
Absolutely
One of the
gorgeous.
drinks came with a Palo Santo that they lit for you at the table and a freaking tarot card.
Yes.
Pick. Not necessarily a reading because they just give you the book as a reference.
Yeah.
But you get to pick your own card and then you get to keep it.
Yes.
It was so cool.
And the little Palo Santo is like it's like clipped onto your glass.
Yes.
So you can smell it every time you take a sip. Oh my God. It was just delightful.
Divine. Truly.
Yeah.
We're here for luxury all day.
Yeah. We had a watermelon stack.
Oh, with grilled halloumi cheese. Are you kidding me? Don't get me on the food.
Yeah.
That was fine. It was good. They stole our phones, of course, from Marcelo, who is such a gorgeous human being. I love that man.
I love Short Kings. And he's
You don't have to call us Short King. It's like a reminder. You don't have to say short. You have a king or prince. He was on someone's show or podcast the other day where he said that.
Because he's like it's a half insult.
Yeah.
It's like you're covering up an insult with something nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, do you think I need a reminder every day?
But he's 5'6". He's 5'6". I'm fine with it though. I really am. I've been saving this to tell you.
Okay.
Guess who he's been linked to dating?
I thought he was like in a committed relationship.
Really?
For a while. But no, I don't know.
I think he broke up. He talked about that at the show.
I didn't know if that was true.
They broke up. Oh, Kaya Gerber. And like she's just being thrown around town. I'm like, wasn't she just engaged to Austin Butler?
They got engaged.
They got engaged. As like people were thinking it was like, oh, because Vanessa was getting married, he was like, oh, I gotta,
Yeah.
I think that he's still obsessed with her, but he just knows that he fucked up.
No shit. Talk about the biggest fumble of your life, Elvis.
Literally.
Are you kidding me? The person who manifested everything for you in your career, and you're gonna be like, no, not her.
I feel like he
reap what you sow, Austin T. Butler.
Is his middle name T? Thomas?
I don't know.
Oh.
Timothée.
Oh, for real. No, but I really do feel like he kind of like took on this like Elvis like spirit, because it's like the same thing with Priscilla. Possessed. I mean, he was younger than Vanessa. There's not like an age gap, but he did have a huge age gap with Kaya.
He did.
Like it was like almost 10 years.
He did. I don't know. It's like, that's not method acting.
Right.
You're taking it too far. No one asked you to be him. No one asked you to emulate a lot of the poor decisions that Elvis made in his life. No one asked you to do
Elvis
that.
means a lot to the American pop star culture.
Yes.
But he wasn't a perfect human.
No,
I mean, nobody is, but I mean,
no.
he
But
did
when
some
we know
fucked up
better, we
things.
do better. No? Austin?
You would think
Talking
so.
to you, honey.
You would think.
Yeah, but that's been a good time. And then we kind of floated right into Thanksgiving week and had a small group over. We cooked. I made sure to make greens because we gotta get the greens,
guys.
We gotta get the greens, girl.
They were so good.
We're talking about collards. You don't know.
Greens, obviously. She made them with turkey because no one in this house eats pork. So she made them with turkey.
Smoked.
So good. Oh my gosh. I had seconds of those. And I had seconds of the macaroni and cheese. And I think that's really what fucked me up.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was 2 pounds of cheese and whole milk
and
flour.
Ooh, yeah.
I made a roux.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. So Thanksgiving, we also went and saw Moana 2. Danie's daughter's obsessed with Moana, so that was a fun time.
I have pictures of, she was mostly chill in the theater.
Yeah.
She wanted to dress up. She was Moana for Halloween. So she wanted to wear her costume in the theater, and she absolutely did, and she slayed. And I have cute little pictures of her in the theater, like in the moments that she was standing up. She was mostly just chilling with me. But I have like from the back of her head, and then like you could see Moana on the screen. It's a cute picture.
Yeah.
And we all thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course I cried, which at this point it's like, if I don't go to the movie theaters without tissue, then it's going to be a problem.
What made you cry? Do you remember?
The grandma.
Oh,
when we thought Moana. Oh, sorry. Spoilers. Spoiler alert. When we thought Moana was dead after she got electrocuted, and the ancestors gathered around her. And then that's when she got her tattoo.
Yeah.
Because then she was basically embraced as this leader, in which she was in the first. But now that she has like this little sister. And I saw a TikTok the other day where it was like Moana 2 was made for sisters with big age gaps.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really precious. Yeah. It was so beautiful. A lot of, someone told me that a critic reviewed it really poorly. And I'm like, well, then it wasn't for you. It's like, if you don't get it, you don't get it. If you're dumb, just say that.
It's the highest grossing film of the moment. It
literally
beat Wicked and Gladiator.
I know it did.
It almost doubled Wicked sales.
So if you're a crotchety old white man who's giving poor reviews to a Disney Pixar film,
literally,
go do something else.
Sounds a little bit
go ahead
with ill intent. Racist. A little racist.
Go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
We're all thinking it.
So I think that's it.
What woman invites another woman to Paris? Lesbians! We're all thinking it. My favorite part of that scene is not when she says that, but when Melissa McCarthy just kind of... She goes, I was.
I love Melissa McCarthy.
She's so
McCarthy.
funny.
She hasn't been in something in a minute, has she? A little minute.
She was doing TV for a minute.
Yeah.
But she's kind of been like back and forth, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean...
Ghostbusters.
Busy 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. We had a lot going on. And yeah. What's in your cup? I had nothing else to say, but I'm like, I can't even remember what happened yesterday, let alone like what I did the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, just a lot of like refocusing on things for me. I guess, which is what is in my cup, is really pushing out these last 2 weeks for school. I applied to SDSU. Everybody wish me luck, please. If not, that's okay. Then my path is elsewhere. But
true.
It's just been kind of like a whirlwind of having to do a lot of things, like within several days of each other. So it's like, I
Yeah.
have this appointment, I have that meeting, I have this meeting with that person, I have that phone call with this person, I have to go and do this by this time, I have to, just a lot of like things scheduled, which I don't necessarily mind, but it's just takes up space, which is totally fine. And I'm really trying to finish out the year strong, which is the way I started. But having those 2 weeks full of like holidays, and then prior to that, just being really busy, it's like I unfortunately did get too behind. It's like it's not even like, oh, I'm like a little bit behind in my assignments. I'm like too much behind. So having to finish all of that, and then of course like balancing my own personal needs, which is always a struggle and a half.
Yeah.
Going back to work, which has been fine, and of course I have a brown sugar shaken espresso, and that's what I need today.
Absolutely.
What's in your cup, sister?
Well, I'm going to open this. Mike, I want them to hear the...
Nice. That was a pop.
Yeah.
We love that.
It is the Kin...
Oh, it's full.
Very.
Oh, it's a bubble.
Oh. It is the Kin Euphorics functional beverage for modern rituals. It's their Kin Spritz. I think it's supposed to be like kind of like an Aperol Spritz because it's very citrusy. But it has rhodiola, 5-HTP, which helps support serotonin, and GABA, and a little bit of caffeine. So I'm going to try this out today. I did have my coffee. I kind of had half of it already, but I'm also going to have this.
Give me a first reaction.
Ooh, first sip.
Let me know.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's if a Aperol Spritz was healthy. Like it's not like that in your face citrus flavor. It's more subtle.
Also with the amount of alcohol that's in an Aperol Spritz, you taste that too.
It's good. I like it. It's like a sparkling water with like a little added jazz.
Okay. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate all the added stuff.
Yes.
I have started implementing, because Christina's on a cleanse.
Yeah.
And so she gave me her coffee creamer because it has added sugar, but it is the layered. So it has the mushrooms and the adaptogens. And I told her the other day when I had like drank it for, 2 days or so.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, like I'm already starting my homework this early.
Yes.
It's good. It's helping me focus. And then I'm out of the forager. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get more of the layered.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, when I was working my 9 to 5, I really feel like that was the thing that was keeping me sane. Because like having to log on to a meeting at 9 o'clock is like, whew.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. But
Yeah. She's like, I don't know why you didn't listen to me about the mushrooms before. Because
mushrooms
we
are magical.
are always talking about the mushrooms on this pod.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. But I guess to just kind of jump right into it.
Can I share what's in my life cup?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We had been talking too long. I'm so sorry.
I know. I'll make it quick and fast. Quick and fast. That's the same thing.
Rapid but quick.
I'm hanging on by a thread. And I feel like it's okay for me to admit that. Not to be negative, but not, and it's not even negative. It's
Share your truth.
I don't know which way is up. I don't know what I'm doing. I think that the reality is that I have kind of been in survival mode for the last 3 months, but it's kind of like getting to me because there's not progress being made. So yeah.
These are the hardest months to make progress.
Yes.
Especially professionally,
Yes.
career. It's like this is when everyone wants to slow down.
Yeah.
And you're trying to speed it up.
Yep.
You know what I thought of earlier today when I was getting ready? I wanted to ask you.
Ask away.
I wanted to ask you, when was the last time you felt like you have slowed down this much?
Never.
I anticipated an answer like that or something.
Maybe
similar.
when I first moved to San Diego and first got the job that I was at, because it was just very fun and fancy free and I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. And that's what it kind of leads into this week's episode.
Sure.
Just talking about how I was thinking about how 2023 was really one of the best years of my life. And it felt very like optimistic and hopeful. But 2024 has just been hurdle after challenge after heartbreak. You know what I mean? Like it's just been nonstop. Just when I think things are getting better, it's like another shoe drops kind of thing.
It's a halt almost.
Yeah.
Things progress to a certain point and then they halt.
Yeah. 2023, like especially the first half was very like blissful, restful. Was there a little bit of like work involved? Because like I moved from Texas and then I was staying with a friend and then I moved out on my own and stuff. So it's like there was a little work in that. Like moving is always work.
Oh, yes.
But it was just very like, it was very refreshing. Breath of fresh air. I felt very, like I said, optimistic. The world's at my fingertips kind of feeling in 2023.
I can understand that.
Yeah. So I guess that was like the most slowed down I've been. But I mean, other than this, where I'm just like really, not that I'm not doing much. I am busy. That's the thing that I keep feeling is so weird. Like I have so much time, yet I feel busier than I did before. I think because I have more on my checklist now. Going before, it was just like my 9 to 5 took up most of my day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what's my priority?
Exactly. And they are things that carry more weight to you personally.
Yeah.
They are things that you care about.
Yeah.
Not the things that you have to care about.
Yeah.
So that could definitely make you feel like you're a lot more busy.
Yeah.
Compared to just having to do things for someone else or for something else.
Yeah.
That doesn't really pertain to your personal goals.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
I think for December, I'm really just wanting to live more in the moment. And I think having the plans that we had the last 2 weeks kind of just like helped me with that. Because it was like, well, I'm already here. We're already doing these things. We're making these plans. I'm having fun. Like I might as well just enjoy it instead of thinking about all of the things that are looming.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can start to feel very overwhelming. And then you get into a dark space in your mind. And then that actually will start to take you back.
Yeah.
Where you're not getting the things done that you know you want to get done. So it's a daily choice.
Being really tired, having a hard time like starting my day. Yeah.
Right.
It being like 11 or 12 and I'm finally like, guess I should do something. you know?
Yeah. But if that's been a while since that was able to happen for you.
Yeah.
As difficult as that is to like accept.
Yeah.
Because I'm there with you. I understand that. A lot of the time I'll wake up at a certain time. I'm like, oh, failed the day.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, that is not true.
The last 2 days I've slept till 10:30. That's like, that's late for me now. Like I used to be able to sleep like in my 20s, like till like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like if I didn't have to work. Yeah. Now it's like, I usually wake up somewhere between like 8 and 9 naturally on my own. Right. But yeah, 10:30 the last 2 days. So
yeah. And if it's necessary for your body, then that's what it is. It's just hard to get yourself out of that way of thinking. Yeah. It's like you have to turn it off. Yeah. It's really hard to turn it off.
But that's how I'm showing up. Yeah. I'm really wanting to be more present because that's the sweetness of life are all the other little things, you know? Taking your daughter to do things, us going out on the town and doing things and like meeting community and meeting up with friends. And like I met this really sweet man at the press yesterday. And I looked over and his nails were painted green and pink. And so I said, hey, I like your nails. And he's like, oh, thanks. I was like, he's like, I got them done for Wicked. I saw it yesterday. I'm like, oh, I got my nails done too. I saw it, you know, when it came out.
Oh, you had a kiki. Yeah. Oh my God. How sweet is that?
He was so sweet. I mean, I don't want to like assume his sexuality, but he seemed not straight. Okay. Probably in his like late 40s.
Okay.
Man, just like sitting on the couch at the press.
I love that. Yeah, I suppose for this episode to be more of a reflection, we want you guys to reflect on the year that you guys have had as well, from the beginning until now.
Yeah, I think that collectively it's been a year. I have this whole theory about odd years and even years.
Do share.
And I don't know if like maybe it's because I was born on an odd year.
And I was born on an even.
Yeah.
Barely.
My most challenging years are always even years, and my best years are always odd years. If I look back at the last like 10 years of my life, I can pinpoint like There was a death in my family on an even year. I had really hard like mental health struggles on an even year. I was in Texas during the pandemic, and 2022 was like a really hard year for me. 2023, obviously I moved. It was a way better year for me. This year's been really tough, you know? So
Yeah.
I just have this theory. It might be like linked to your birth year. You guys let us know. Do you have certain years that are better or worse for you?
And then does that correlate to your birth year at all?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because I think I've just had things. I don't know if it's the same for me because Pluto was in Capricorn for 100,000 years.
Yeah.
And is no longer. But I think I've had certain things happen all throughout that I can't really pinpoint if even years work out better for me just because I was born in an even year. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because I also cut my wrist open in an even year. So,
Ooh.
you know what I mean? Like,
Ouch.
it's just,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. But collectively, like, there's just been a lot going on this year, collectively and energetically. It's like, it just felt like this year was like, is this really happening? You know, like everything happening in Palestine and Israel. It's like, this is still happening.
It's still happening.
And then with the politics, the way that it was this year, like, this is still happening. A man who's been like,
It has
convicted.
felt very much like a Twilight Zone type of year.
yeah.
I've had very few moments where I'm like living inside my body. It's been very just going through the motions of life a lot of the time.
Right.
But I agree.
Yeah.
Energetically, a lot shifted from even just last year. For me, it just felt like the end of so many things in my personal life, in my professional life, in understanding how to parent, understanding the relationships that I was involved in, platonic, romantic, however you want to envision that.
Yeah. Familial.
Yeah, it just felt like the timing of everything was really, really on purpose last year. And so going into this year, I was very hopeful while still trying to heal from a lot of those things and figuring out what that process is looking like for me and trying to do those things without as much guilt and shame as I've been feeling, because that makes me feel really frustrated that I somehow have created this idea in my head about the fact that people might look at my situation in a certain way when really no one's even looking at me. Just me. But it's just like
you think people have like a opinion about where you're at?
All of it. Yeah. And it's like with everything I do and everywhere I go, I feel like people can just, I'm like see-through.
Yeah.
People can see what I'm thinking, you know. And I don't know why that is, but it just, I read about this. That happens, like, starts to occur in adolescence, and it's called, I want to say invisible audience or something having to do with like you being on this like stage that you've created in your mind that everyone is thinking about you all the time.
Oh, yeah. I understand that. I sometimes feel the opposite. I forget that people perceive me, and then I have this like overwhelming breakdown when I'm like, I have been being perceived this whole time and I'm not even like cognizant of it.
Yeah, like I'm being watched. What have I said?
Right.
While being watched and not realizing that that's what was happening.
Yeah, that feeling of like, oh, I've been on the stage the whole time. I just didn't even realize.
Oh,
that. Oof, and it sends me down a whole spiral. I hate it.
It's almost like it was dark and then the spotlight got turned on and then you're like, oh, I've been on stage.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And
And for me, the spotlight follows me.
Oh.
And it's just like, oh, now she's doing this and now she's doing that and now she's thinking this, or, oh,
Right.
what would people, why is she doing this? Like, this doesn't seem like a right decision for her. But is that just my inner monologue? Is that my instinct? I'm like patting my gut like she's going to understand the word I'm saying. My like gut instinct.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand. I feel that way in some aspects of my life. And I'm like, are people questioning certain things? Like, why is this girl has never like posted a relationship on her Instagram? That's weird. Like, is she okay? Like, I think of those things. But I'm like, are other people thinking like, why is Christina never in a relationship? You know what I mean?
Correct. And I know
Or
that
not that I'm never in a relationship.
And
Why do I
that
never
probably
post?
only very few people have ever said anything to you about that.
Right.
I can probably only think of one person. But for the most part, an outside perception is you're living your motherfucking life.
Yeah.
It looks fun as fuck. That's how I think of it. If you need an outsider opinion,
Right.
it looks fun as hell. You're like, ugh, no one to drag her down. You know what I mean?
That is true.
No one to bother her every day with some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to talk about some of the Zayn videos that are going up on the TikToks.
Woo!
I cannot handle it. I'm trying to avoid them because I want to be surprised. He asked the audience if they wanted to sweat the other day. I said, Zayn Matthew Malik, absolutely not. Don't ever speak to me in that tone. I will get kicked out of the Shrine Auditorium.
He's been getting a little cheeky with it. I'm like, where is this coming from? You've literally been like hibernating for the last 7 years.
I can't even think of him. Look, I'm blushing. I can't.
I know I'm getting hot. I'm ovulating, you guys, right now. And so I...
Last night she was like, Love Island, Australia. And I had to tell you about this man because he's a Capricorn. He's wearing a Padres hat.
You guys...
He's fine, though.
Okay, you guys know that I watch every single episode of Love Island ever, no matter what. Doesn't matter. I didn't watch this year's UK because it just stank. It was, no. Stinky. Absolutely boring. But I'm watching Love Island Australia... And there is Taylor. If you know, you know. I hate when I fall prey to another just like regular gym bro with tattoos, but he's so sexy. And he does actually have a really good personality. And he's so sweet and romantic. Oh my God. Yeah.
You guys,
I was struggling
Capricorns
yesterday.
really get with the shit end of the stick. We're seen as like the boring ones, the serious ones.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have a personality. No. We are very boisterous. We just choose who to share that with because it's very valuable.
He's very like, I wouldn't say he's reserved, but he is a little bit more like serious and straightforward with everybody. And then when he gets with the girl that he likes, he's goofy as hell. And I'm like, oh, that's what I want.
It's the giddiness.
Match my freak.
Is someone gonna match my freak?
Yeah. He's so sexy. But anyway, what were we talking about?
The end of 2023.
Yeah.
Coming into 2024.
See.
My birthday party was a vision board.
Yes.
And so
thank you for getting us on track.
I do briefly want to touch on those because we did it pretty much within the first week of January. And we made our own cutesy little, I have a TikTok.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll share it to the empaths.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll share it to the empaths.
You did make a TikTok for it.
Yeah, it was a cute little, it was really quick, just showing kind of how like we covered up the front table and we had our own little olives and crackers and just, it was like a little moment. And we printed out some pictures of the, if you guys need quick prints, Walmart. Don't support your local Walmart, but Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. As each of us are talking about our vision boards for people who are visual and watching us, we'll put it here in between us. So Danie, you go ahead and go first. Describe what was on your vision board for this year.
So a lot of the things that I have on here, I would say they still ring true. They are some of the things that I am still aspiring to do and be. But if you notice at the very top left-hand corner where it says the right track, I have some cutesy little girls in some graduation caps just as inspiration to not necessarily graduate this year, but
but you did re-enroll this year.
Just keep me going. And that's why it says the right track, because I want to stay on the right track of my goals and what it is that I set out to do. Well, I have the privilege of being where I'm at and having the support that I am and being able to basically relax into the slowness of everything. I mean, not that I'm not busy, but I don't feel stressed in the sense that like I have to survive, and so I just need to work as many jobs as I could possibly work to support myself and my child. I'm in a very like safe space to be able to explore different options for myself,
more of a long term.
And I understand that that's not everybody's experience after having to basically completely start over. So that is something that I don't ever want to take advantage of. And so that's always there. Comfort zone will kill you. I did do a couple things this year that were out of my comfort zone. I started spending a lot more time with myself, by myself, and enjoying my own company. Going to the pottery classes, which I've talked about plenty of times. A lot of, surprise, a lot of things on here are about money. And I say that because I think have done a lot of healing work and a lot of repair on my relationship with money after having gone to see Ramit, after reading his book and just learning some of the things over the last couple of years and even within my adolescence about how important it is to have a very specific relationship with money and not let that rule your life and existence entirely.
Yeah.
And adopting this idea that everything is cyclical. So at the very bottom next to Issa, who's my girl, the money I spend will always be replaced by more. I like to say those things, and I like to always say that money is cyclical because it is. If you think about it, it's just a very made up concept.
Yeah.
And so if we don't put that much power into it and we don't let it take over our lives completely, then that does become true. Especially, I'm not saying be crazy. I'm saying be financially responsible. I'm not saying to go out here and spend whatever you want to spend because that's not how I live my life.
Right. Or get yourself in insane debt. Don't do that.
Correct. The way I like to spend my money is things that I know other people need or things that I've waited a long time to get for myself. And that I feel like I've gotten to the point where, okay, I've earned this for myself and I'm going to gift it to myself. Or the thing that feels the best about having extra money is being able to just give it, which just be like, here, whatever. Makes no damn difference to me.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, you need this. At one point, I needed something. And I was very grateful to have received that in that moment. And so to be able to pay that forward is something that I feel like really speaks to that quote there. And yeah, there's a couple of travel things on here that I didn't get to do, but that's okay because there's always next year.
Any like major themes or things like, do you feel like there were things that were accomplished?
Definitely the comfort zone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I lived there for a long time and I'm very comfortable there. I'm a grounded person. I'm a homebody type of person. So I really gravitate toward things that bring me comfort, from like the activities that I enjoy, from the clothes that I wear. You know, it just, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I can't be made to feel uncomfy.
Yeah.
And so if I kind of live in that headspace in every single area of my life, then yeah, I won't ever be challenged. So I think I did challenge myself in a lot of different ways.
I mean, doing the podcast itself is like stepping out of a comfort zone.
Speaking of, yeah,
Right?
I do have that written down, which I have on my vision board as well. I do have some stuff here that's like music. When we talked to Brittany, I did tell her I was going to be exploring that side of myself again and getting a lot more into music and just like playing it whenever and wherever, because in the past I had felt very judged for my choices in music, and this stems back all the way into my childhood. And so I think just doing things that make me happy and choosing things that make me happy without a care or a fuck given about what anyone else thinks is something that I've stepped into a lot more. And yeah, lots of things on here having to do with parenting and mother-daughter relationships. And that's all, I mean, for the rest of my life will be something on my vision board, you know, even if in my mental. I'm looking for maybe something that has yet to be fulfilled other than the travel. I would say maybe some more of like the social stuff.
Yeah.
The hosting and having people over, which we did on Thanksgiving, but it's different when you like plan everything yourself, A to Z.
And it's your own space.
Yeah. And so I know that eventually we're going to get there, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a home. That's true. I foresee us planning things in a space that's going to feel like ours, even if we only have to rent it for several hours. We can definitely lean into making something feel like our own space.
Was there anything else you wanted to say to wrap up?
No, I do believe that is all. I'm proud of the vision board that I made. I didn't make it with the intention of it being a checklist.
Right.
And I'm really proud of myself for not, I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to do this. Like, it's not what it's for. It's just about the feeling that it evokes.
Yeah.
And when you pin it up in your room and you get to look at some of those things every single day, especially some of the things that remind you of what we always talk about in this podcast, self-care and taking time for yourself in whatever form or way that looks like.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly.
Yes, please.
I agree. Yeah, my vision board is right next to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wake up, it's literally the first thing that I see every morning, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. I've been vision boarding for a while.
You guys.
Since 2020, and it's very much a like ritual for me. It's very therapeutic. It's very immersive. I literally will spend the last, 2 weeks of December and even into January curating what my year is going to be. I make a playlist. I journal exactly what my theme is, what my affirmation is, everything. And I love it. You guys, this is where my Virgo comes in.
It's color coded.
Because I set colors to the year too. Like, I'm not fucking joking, bitch. I'm not playing
I
fuck
remember
around.
this. I do remember this from January. I just had never seen the breakdown.
Yeah.
She had the pictures in certain hues.
Yes.
Like, I knew that.
Yes.
And you are going to be able to see that here.
Yeah.
But
I'll show them like my journal right now. So I have all the colors for 2024. The theme was abundance. My affirmation is I'm ready and finally safe enough to be seen, which I feel like was the theme.
That is the affirmation
of 2024.
Hello.
Yeah. And then I put what I wanted to release from last year. And I said, I release any expectations on myself, my life, and others except to have positive experiences.
Mm-hmm.
My word for the year was embody. And I really do feel like it was kind of a theme. Balancing the embodiment of the different facets of my life and kind of trying to bring them all together. So my physical embodiment, my spiritual embodiment, my creative embodiment. How can I like not compartmentalize them and bring them all together?
A blending.
And I think that I have been able to do that. Have I been perfect at it all the time? No, but I think that that's kind of been my theme.
Right, but that wasn't the goal.
My word, yeah. My colors for the year were like a deep red, like that cherry red. I got my nails done that color several times. Blue.
Cornflower.
If you guys don't know, my favorite color in the world is cornflower blue. So blue, of course, was in there. And then green, like primary colors, romantic, classic, bold. And then this is what I wrote about how I wanted to feel in 2024. I feel energized, grateful, and clear on my life purpose. I possess unwavering confidence in myself. I feel warm and protected by a cocoon spun by my ancestors. Go off vocabulary.
Okay.
I feel sunny and free, drinking an Aperol Spritz by the sea in Italy. I feel grand, expansive, and colorful like the sunset. I feel sensual and romantic like a bath filled with rose petals by candlelight. I really be getting into it. So,
yo, please, if you're not taking notes on her notes, start.
And then I went into my goals. So this one I did not achieve. Read or listen to 12 books this year. I think I only got through... Well, I read 3 ACOTAR books. I read the Matthew Hussey book, and
did you get into some audibles?
I did read a couple. I did listen to a couple audibles.
Okay.
Some Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I read. What is it called? It's the really famous one. The cover has like a woman with a green dress on it. You guys are probably screaming it. It's like a really famous book talk book. Can't think of it. They're turning it into a movie. And Daisy Jones and the Six. I listened to that one too. So probably about 6-ish books, which is like half.
Girl, better than I did. You know what? I read textbooks.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I wrote deepen my yoga practice, which I feel like I did.
Yes.
Start a podcast and dive in. Did that. I didn't get to travel. I put make 100K this year. I did not do that. I think that this is I think I've made less this year than I have in a very long time, but that's okay because we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding. Find a hobby, volunteer work, community. Still working on that, and that's okay. Call in aligned friendships and partner. Love harder and get my joy back. I like that as a goal. That's, I think, is another goal I'm going to carry into 2025. Be impeccable with my word and continue improving my communication. Go off past me. Like, I really,
This was last year this time. Ish.
I did this in December. Yeah. And I did my, yes.
Okay.
I'd be doing it.
I would love to get into it this much. I kind of like, this was really like my first experience vision boarding. So I really didn't know where to start. A lot of it really felt chaotic to me, and I didn't know really what to pull from. So it was just like really what makes me feel good. And like, that's why Issa Rae is on there. That's why Tabitha Brown is on there, because she is joy encapsulated in a person, and she makes my daughter really happy. So anything that makes my daughter happy makes me happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would really love to to do a deep dive on that.
I try to get really clear.
Mm-hmm.
I try to get really clear. So my vision board, we'll put it up here. The colors were red and blue, like I said in my thing. The themes were like money. In the middle, I have Mom, I Am a Rich Man, my favorite quote from Cher, whom I love Cher. A lot of the themes, and I kind of put them into categories. So one of them in the bottom corner was like talking a lot about personal power. And I really do think that is something that kind of came to light. Like, I do feel very empowered this year, and I did things that scared me. I did things that I thought were going to be hard. I'm doing things that are scary for me. I'm not living in my situation as far as job and money right now isn't the most secure, and I feel like I'm doing a good job not freaking out at that. So I'm proud of myself for that. One of the major themes on here was travel, and I just didn't get to do it. I was really, really trying to go to Spain, and I would have if I kept working at the place I was working, but I did not, so I could no longer go. It was with this program, this company that if you have a job where you work from home, you can go, and they have like an apartment for you with Wi-Fi.
What is the service called?
Noma Collective.
That's right.
Yeah. And they do different trips to different places, and you spend a whole month there. So I was going to go to Spain. That unfortunately didn't get to happen, but that's okay. Money on here a lot, which I really do feel like I'm in the process of still like breaking some of those money blocks because of the way that I grew up. I grew up pretty poor. And even just in my adulthood, just going through school and like my 20s, like having to work 2 or 3 jobs most of the time because I just couldn't afford life, and being in school and just like always having that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
I need to work more, which, like you said, like money is cyclical. Money is an energy. And so when you start to realize like my work is not really worth $17 an hour, like who decides that? You know, who decides that my presence and my energy, my hospitality, my hard work is worth $17?
Yeah.
You know,
the energy that I gave into working in the hotel industry, even for the short time that I did, when I first started working at the hotel, I was at like $13.50 an hour.
That's crazy.
It's
in
nuts. LA? No, that was here.
Oh,
in LA, I think I was still in LA. I think I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah,
I mean that was like one of the richest
Granted, this
parts
was what,
of
maybe 10 years ago,
2016,
8 years ago.
Yeah,
but still,
I was literally bordering Beverly Hills. It was one of the, they had events on events. They had press junkets. They would sneak celebrities in through the freaking service elevator.
Right. And you can only afford to pay me $15 an hour.
I saw Jill Scott face to face one time.
Hell yeah.
I love that woman.
Hell yeah. So money was a huge theme. There's like money all around this bitch. I have a director's chair as a reminder that like I'm the director of my own life.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a picture of Rory from Gilmore Girls, and it says, I love romanticizing my life. I have some self-care. I have some relationship stuff, which, I did my best this year. I did date around.
I have to say, she really put herself out there.
Right?
And it was just kind of like figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
And not in a way that was like, ugh, it didn't work out again. It was just like, on to the next.
It's like, I'm not going to, it's not working out with this person. So it's like, I'm just not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. There was French Boy.
Yeah.
There was the guy that worked at the retreat that was a dad.
Yeah.
That was like a short minute, but like
yeah.
There's my current one. I feel like there's like one more and now I can't remember. Maybe there wasn't.
Was it more of just like a crush maybe? Or someone you actually hung out with? No, because I feel like French Boy took up the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Which is okay.
Because
you promised yourself that you were going to allow yourself to feel
and get into that.
and get into it.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things I want to return to, one of the mentalities, because I feel like as a younger person in my 20s, I had this ideal, this mindset that like relationships don't have to be forever. Because I think that, you know, growing up in the church and just, you know, popular culture, it's like you find your one person and then you stay with them until the day that you die.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like, that's just not realistic. So it's like different people come into your life for different seasons of your life and can teach you different things. And just like friendships don't last forever, relationships don't have to last forever. And it doesn't have to be this earth-shattering thing. It can just be like we served each other in the time of life that we needed to, and now we're going different directions, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to return to that mentality a little bit.
That's what I meant earlier about making choices that are free and rid of shame and guilt because of the ideas that surround certain things.
Yeah.
I would love to adopt this idea that like I'm actually safe and okay in something that's short term.
Right.
And that's not committed.
Right. Just give it a go.
I'm just going to give it a go. I'm just going to have some little funsies with it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been so serious about everything, about having to do things a certain way. And that brought on this idea of like false loyalty to something or someone.
Right.
Especially when it wasn't reciprocated.
Yeah.
And then I end up depleted. So I would love to like pour into something that was like equal.
Yeah.
Even if I knew it had an expiration date.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay.
Because
Love
we deserve to
that.
be happy now.
Hell yeah.
And be around people that light us up now. Which
Exactly.
is another big theme is like
We tend to futurize everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean,
I made that up.
we're humans, like we can't really help that. But think about the future, especially like in your case, like you have a daughter, you have to think about that.
Correct. I'm not completely like throwing that out the window.
Yeah.
I am always careful with my decisions.
So yeah, another major theme on here was like moving out into a spot on my own or like with you and I, which that didn't happen, and that's also okay because unforeseen things happened.
Correct.
In my work life and finance life that I didn't have on the horizon. They weren't on my bingo card for the year. And so
yeah, entirely out of your control.
Yeah. We're still working on that. Yeah. And then the other major theme was like calling in community and just be surrounded by people who are like-minded, who are like, no one's ever going to be completely and totally healed, but people who are just like on that path and understand. People I don't have to
Even
explain.
just open to it.
Yeah, people I don't have to explain shit to. That's the thing that I'm like really like so done with in life, romantically, in my family, platonically. Like I just don't want to explain shit to people anymore.
Yeah. I feel like we're at the age where it's like if you're not making effort towards certain things,
Right.
why do I need to exert my energy in explaining something to you that you can I use my resources, you use yours.
Right. So I will attract the right people by being myself. That is something I've really stuck to throughout the year. Like I'm gonna be me.
Right.
In my good moments and in my bad moments. And if you can't handle that, I'm so sorry.
Correct.
I can't be anybody else. And that's something I'm still going to work on into forever. I think community is really important to me, and I've always really wanted to have that group of just like super aligned, like no competition, no cattiness, just vibes, like living our life together, joy, harmony, community. And that will come at some point. I'm doing it slowly. You know, there's a couple people that I've like met over the last year or so. I'm like, okay, like I wouldn't say they're like my bestie. I wouldn't say I talk to them all the time, but like they're a cool person. I enjoy spending time with them. So,
Right.
Yeah.
People that have been introduced into your life and you're like, okay, the vibes are there a little bit and we're introducing slowly, like doing other things together. We are on and popping for this bitch's birthday. It's like,
oh, hell yeah.
The plans are planning. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I had another quote that I really loved from Glennon Doyle. It says, stop asking people for directions to places they've never been.
Ooh.
Because I always have this like inferiority complex of like everybody else knows more than me or everybody else like has the secret that I don't know yet kind of thing.
It was thrust upon us.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that in recent years, I've just realized like I can't keep asking people for advice or reassurance, but there's just certain people I can't ask advice from because I know that they're not going to give me an answer that's beneficial.
Right. It's like you've not been there. You're just going to give me an answer out of obligation.
Right.
And not because you're really trying to help me figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
find it elsewhere, I suppose.
Right.
Or within, usually.
Yeah. So that's my reflections for the year, or going back over my intentions. And I think that we did the damn thing.
I absolutely agree. It was a whirlwind of a moment. I mean, January did not really feel like that long ago.
No.
It was a pretty quick year.
Quick, but also long. I think maybe the patience part of it, like waiting for the things to manifest,
Yeah.
felt long and still
Yeah.
feels long because it's like
Yeah.
we're still on the journey.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's like timeline wise, I remember the exact day that we did the boards, and I remember like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I have like still vivid memories.
Right.
That's why
I remember
for
your
me, it
birthday. I
feels-
remember
yeah.
your daughter's birthday.
Right.
Like, yeah. Winter this year, I guess, didn't seem so far away. The
Yeah.
summer went by like that.
Oh yeah. I feel like the summer was really quick.
It was May, and then all of a sudden it was September. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, especially because that was like the thick of us starting the pod.
Yes, that's
and I was
true.
also in summer school, so it was just kind
True.
of like there wasn't really any time to have a hot girl summer, you know. We did it, but in our own way.
Yeah.
We had our own version of a hot girl
Yeah.
summer.
I was really stressed with work, and yeah, there was just a lot going on there.
I think we touched on this a little bit, but I feel like reflecting on the vision boards, of course, we're always expressing gratitude for the things that, not necessarily that we accomplished, but things that were honored, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I practice like a daily gratitude, even if it's for something small. Like sometimes I feel like people can think of like, oh, it's like I'm just going to work, or this is just my job. When you put just in front of something, it like minimizes it, and then you forget to practice gratitude for that small thing that actually makes a big impact.
Yeah.
And so I'm always trying to remind myself of what I'm actually grateful for and what I need to express gratitude for on a daily basis. And a lot of the time that is my support that I have here. That is my family. It's a lot of extended family. And here recently, it's been more for people that I am involved with in work. I feel like I will be presented in the new year with, this might be a prophecy, with opportunities to do more with work and being afforded the time and capability of doing that, or something having to do with school or my major, something like on the horizon where I'm going to be able to choose involvement. That's how I feel. And that is going to be a part of my building community, especially for the babies who I love.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's good. I'm really grateful for, I think that the theme, I mean, I know that I shared like the things I wrote down, but I think that like now being at the end of the year and seeing everything that I went through was resilience. And I'm grateful for my resilience because like there were things that honestly could have taken me down. Several. I started out the year with a friendship breakup that was really shocking and cut really deep. Relationship things with French boy was so up and down. Work.
yeah.
My previous job, it was a very unstable workplace monetarily. There wasn't a lot of job security, and then that obviously didn't work out and led to me like being laid off. And so I think that through all of those things, I'm really grateful that I had a place to land here. And I'm really grateful for you and for your family and just like having a place where I didn't have to like, on top of everything else, also struggle with like, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay my bills? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for that. And I'm just really glad that like I'm resilient. And for the most part, I got through everything with like a really good attitude. I didn't let things like break me.
It gave you a strong neck.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. And it's like just going through things that I like didn't think I would have to, like figuring out, you know, when you are laid off, like going through the whole like unemployment process and like doing all that kind of stuff. It's just like things like that you never think that you're going to have to do, that all of a sudden you do. And then it's like, now I've had to do it twice.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay, well, like I know how to do this now, and it's not that scary. And I know that I'm going to be protected, and I know that I'm going to have enough money.
Right. Those things can feel overwhelming because it's really tough to know where to start, especially if you've not been there before. On top of experiencing the stress of why you are even having to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
The anxiety that is coupled with having to do that. Again, the shame or embarrassment.
Yeah.
Where you're like, why am I here?
Yeah.
This fucking sucks. I should
and it wasn't
not
by
be
my
here.
choice, and it wasn't by anything I did.
I should be in a certain stage, air quotes here, of my life, and this is not it type shit.
Yeah.
And so she woke up every morning head held high. You know, it was resilience that was like tattooed across your forehead. You're like, honestly, fuck it.
Right.
For real.
Right.
What at some point you have to say, what other choice do I have other than embrace?
Yeah.
And that's what my therapist first told me
Yeah.
when everything shifted in my life, where she was like, and I've said this before, radical acceptance for things out of your control, and watch what happens.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Watch what happens and recognize that what you said, when you are in a safe space and you are in a softer place to land. Mm-hmm. It's like everything unfolded the way that it had to, because everything's already written type shit.
Right.
Especially for this year,
Yeah.
for you specifically.
Right. I'm really viewing this year as like, this year was the breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Everything had to get broken down that I know that no longer could be in my life, so that 2025 and beyond I can build.
It was a dismantling.
And I can soar. It was the dismantle year. It really was.
Yeah. And that's not bad,
Yeah.
y'all. If you guys, please raise your hand in the comments if you had a dismantle year. I think I've had a dismantle 2 years, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
I love the unfolding of it all. I don't care. It's like the same way that I love aging. You know what I mean? It's the same way that I'm like, ooh, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, I've not had an excitement about what's next for a long time. And so I don't really care what the process looks like at this point.
Right.
I'm like, whatever it has to look like, honey, I'm here for it.
Right.
I love a good dismantling. It's like when you take apart a puzzle and put it back together again. And
Right.
you're like, oh, I didn't notice this piece over here before.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're puzzlers. You know that.
Right. It's just, and acknowledging the fact that these things can be scary and they're tough, and like, you're allowed to, like, there were days where like I had to just give myself a mental health day, and I had to let myself feel the feelings, and the kind of like what you were saying before of like, you know, that you have this support system that not everybody has. It's like, I have myself. And I think that that's why I tend to worry, because it's like, I don't have anybody who can like help me with money, or, you know, like buy me food or send me this or that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have anyone helping me. I'm it. And so it goes back to the resilience of like, I still got myself through it, even though it's scary that like, I don't have a partner with a second income to rely on. I don't have a family who's near me and who can like support me in that kind of way.
Right.
The people in my life, my support system, are just not in the place to do those things. And I also would never expect those things. Like, I am a grown woman, you know, but realizing that like, it's okay if you're doing it yourself to not bear the weight so hard on yourself, and not feel like you're a failure for things that you can't control, because you're going to get through it.
Yeah. And it's hard. When we talk about going out and living in a spot together, it's difficult. It's not easy for anyone to do this right now. You know how many 30-somethings are still living at home or back at home after experiencing living on their own for a long time? I lived on my own for a long time. I lived on my own for like 7 fucking years.
Yeah. Right.
With a partner, no less, but still away from my family.
Right.
You know, trying to make things work on my own. And so having that dismantled and having to come back here and start fresh can make you feel like, how? Like, in what universe did I get here after being on my own for so long? Yeah. But it's like, what are we supposed to learn in this moment? Right. What are we supposed to learn in this time where it's like, you're allowed to slow down and have these moments of reflection that we're having and think back on the year, because, you know, you aren't busy with the same things, like what you touched on earlier. You're not busy with the same things as what you used to, where it's like, I don't even have time to take care of myself,
Right.
let alone think about all the things.
Yeah. I'm excited because I feel at the end of 2024, I feel the same way that I felt in 2022 of like, I'm on the precipice of something big. Mm-hmm. There's something in front of me that I just need a breakthrough. Mm-hmm. And then I'm on the precipice of something new, exciting, changing. Mm-hmm. Right. And I don't know what it is. Like, to your point, it's hard to, when you live in an expensive state, which I understand, like I chose this. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to be here because where else would I want to be?
Yes.
But I mean, I'm looking at places. So I'm always looking.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking, visualizing. It's really important.
Sure. Yeah. I do it all the time. It's like all the emails.
A 400 square foot studio is $2,000. Right. I keep having these like visions and dreams that I'm going to win the lottery. So I'm like, if I do, what would I get? I'm going to get myself like a little 2-3 bedroom condo.
Yeah.
Found this amazing, beautiful, gorgeous place. Looks out over the ocean. And like the airport. So you can see all the planes fly in. Yeah. Amazing. They put sunset pictures on the listing. I was like, of course you did.
Annoying.
$980,000 for this little condo. And I'm like, but she's perfect and she's beautiful. And something's going to happen one day. I don't know. It may not be next year or the year after that or the year after that. But I'm going to get there come hell or high water.
Yeah. If that's that deep of a desire. Right. I want to have like multiples. Not children. I want to have multiple like properties. I want to have like my home.
Yeah.
I want to have and like vacation shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want my day to day to feel like this is structured. This is my routine. This is where I come every day. But when I am ready to take a vacation, I'm going all the fuck out. Yeah. And I'm going to my beach house.
Yeah.
Right. That's rented out the remainder of the year for passive income.
Yeah.
All those things where it's like, I've always been interested in real estate, but when you're not necessarily set up to have the capital for that to occur for you.
Oh yeah.
It does take you longer.
Yeah.
That's inevitable.
Right.
So I'm right there with you. When you feel like something is unattainable, still act like you're going to attain it.
Yeah.
Because that is how we breathe energy into those things that we want so deeply.
Right. One more thing I'm grateful for, because I remember in 2023, I was like just thinking a lot about like, I need a mentor, I need a guide, I need a big sis. And there's 2 people in my life, one of them being Maddie Murphy, who I did group coaching with, and she's amazing and wonderful. Check out Cosmic RX. She's kind of become that for me. Mm-hmm. And I can like send her like a voice note and she'll respond. She'll be like, oh, well, this and this and blah, 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 blah. And like, I can help you with this and that. And like, this is what's going on in your chart. She really does fuse like being an astrologer with being kind of like a life coach / business coach. And so she's been like really vital. And like, I kind of realized that last week, like, wow, I like really asked for that last year and it happened. And it's like, sure, it's not like in a one-on-one capacity. There's a group of us, but she still does like talk to me and respond to me one-on-one. And we're continuing our partnership next year, and hopefully we'll have her on the pod. But that, and then
recently announced that she's about to have her second baby. So congratulations, Maddie.
Yeah. She's going on maternity leave. So yeah, just like recognizing that I am calling things in. It's just maybe not in the way that I thought.
Now, and like, the methods are always different than what you think. And you're like, oh, that was unexpected.
Right.
But also fun and exciting.
Yeah.
And like, it's same with the timeline. Yeah. It's always a different timeline than what you think. But it always tends to kind of fit into a moment that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Maybe not while you're wishing it and you don't have it.
Right.
But when it does come, you're like, okay, this actually was the clarity that I needed. Like a lot of the time she'll come out of the coaching and it's just like, whoosh. Kind of like this and this and this and this and this and this. And it's providing a lot of clarity for some of the things that everyone, but specifically you, are experiencing in this time. Yeah. And that is a very beautiful thing to have when every day you could wake up and choose to feel lost.
Right. Or like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah. The whys. Yeah. The whys really get to you for sure.
Yeah. And even just the women that are in the group with me, I'm so grateful for them. I hope that we can like continue to like keep in contact even after the group is done, because the group is done when we're recording this. The group is done today. I have my last coaching today, but Yeah. So I'm like realizing as we're sitting here, like, oh yeah, like I called on this and I manifested this and like there's these people in my life and blah, blah, blah. Like it's just, you have to stop. You have to stop and smell the roses sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We understand that that's not a luxury that everybody has, but even if you have, if you're in your car, a lot of the time when you're in your car, you're pretty much by yourself. If you're commuting to work, if you're going here and there, running errands,
Yeah.
just even 2 to 3 minutes of reflection about like, oh, hey, I was thinking about this last year and I have it this year. Or I'm thinking about this and I can't wait to see how that's going to expand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're definitely going to pray.
Yep.
But I did want to close out with a question about the remainder of this year. Is there anything you want to commit to moving forward as we kind of settle into relaxation? We're having our holiday break for the pod and it's very quick and short and we'll resume at the very beginning of January. Yeah. How do you want to finish out the year? Is it like going all out? Do you want to be more social because you're in your Sagittarius vibe? Like, how are you feeling? What do you want to commit to?
Ooh, I've already decided that besides my birthday, or maybe I'll post things after, I don't know. Basically, after we have the last episode come out, I'm deleting social media off my phone.
Okay.
I'm taking off
Until
Instagram,
we go back to work.
like the app. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
going to take it off my phone, like Instagram, TikTok, probably even Reddit, because sometimes I can get caught up in Reddit for a while. That way I can focus on setting my intentions for next year.
I love that.
Building my playlist, being in my energy, maybe reading another book before
I
the
want
end
to
of
get
the
back
year.
to reading so bad. That's literally what I want so bad. After I'm done with school, it's just like, oh, can I read for enjoyment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm committing to. I think that I'm going to have my fun with my birthday weekend. But after that, I think that I'm really wanting to cocoon and reset for the next year.
I think so.
Yeah. What about you?
There's lots of fun and exciting things happening with the pod and even just the beginning of the year. And I think that's going to open up a lot of new opportunities for us. It'll be my last semester in community college before I can transfer and then really get the ball rolling there, which I obviously don't know what that's going to look like for me, but excited nonetheless. And yeah, for the last several weeks of this year, like I said, picking up a book again for enjoyment. I still have yet to read Parable of the Talents because I read Parable of the Sower and I'm like, I need the next one. And I don't really want to audiobook it because I read the physical copy of the first one.
Right.
So I want
Continue
the next
experience. One. Yeah.
And I'll be on a break from everything, work and school. So it's going to feel like, oh my God, I'm going to have all this time and blah, blah, blah. I know that the holidays are kind of going to get not in the way, but the holidays are going to be in between that. But yeah, definitely getting back to journaling, maybe going and seeing a couple of movies by myself. Obviously, always spending time with my daughter, maybe figuring out a couple of things that just me and her can do together one-on-one, because that's pretty rare these days. Which is fine, because one thing that girl loves is a full house.
Oh, yeah.
She woke up Saturday morning and said, who's coming over today? That's how she feels.
Yeah.
So she loves to have people over. She loves that family and the energy that brings.
Yeah.
But I would like to kind of figure out some things to do, her and I, just one-on-one.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of getting back to maybe doing another pottery class. I have talked about it for the last 6 months and they're still dry, my watercolors. Really doing that. I kind of want to like touch up my bedroom a little bit and kind of make it feel like more of a personal space. So just things like that are going to make my room feel a lot more relaxed, because a lot of the time I'm working in there and I'm doing things that are like different energies that are not relaxing energies.
Yeah.
So kind of coming back to myself, and again, maybe figuring out I've been thinking about this a lot, a different type of therapy for myself and figuring out how that can get funded in a different way.
Yeah.
And not through Kaiser.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I like talk therapy as a foundation for myself.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need something more. There's something that I'm not able to crack.
Yeah.
There's something that I feel like I'm just not able to really look into yet.
Well, I mean, we're both intellectualizers. So it's like, that's how I felt. I had an incredible therapist. Shout out Dr. Vo. I actually need to email her and let her know that I'm like alive. and send her the podcast. I still haven't done that. I promised her I would.
Yeah.
And I promised her I would have her on. I need to do that too.
Dr. Vo.
Yeah. Because now that she's not my therapist, she can be on the
Correct.
podcast.
In perfect alignment.
I had great breakthroughs with her and things that probably wouldn't have happened without talk therapy. But then going into my OCD journey, I realized just how not harmful, but it creates more rumination in my brain. Because people with OCD really need assurance and they really seek for it in people. Like, I'm not crazy, right? Or like, oh, did this happen? Or did that happen? Or like, I'm going to be okay. Or like, just things like that, you know, like we really need that extra, but it can kind of get excessive. And I never want it to be like overbearing on the people that I love. So I try to be mindful of it. Sometimes when I really need it, I come to you, I'm like, okay, I know I'm annoying and that I've already asked you this like 3 times, but this is for real, right?
And I've never found it annoying, but I understand that in your brain, that's how it's feeling.
Yeah.
But from someone who also needs a lot of external validation, I'm happy to provide.
Right. I mean, maybe that's why we're in each other's lives, because we both need similar things.
And I understand it deeply. It's why I feel like I need to step out of talk therapy, and I need to.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get to. Yeah,
I need to step out of something where I'm just like, well, yeah, such and such, such, and I know it's because of this.
Right.
What's your next question? Like,
Right.
No, I need someone to ask me a question I don't have the answer to,
Right.
bitch.
Right.
I don't have the answers to everything, but a bitch can swear she does.
Or maybe like not even things that like require a question asked. Maybe it's a practice or a method or a
Correct.
like a EMDR or like something like that.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm saying things, I get a little piece of advice here and there. I'm saying things and I get a little piece of advice here. It's all something that's like, I could Google this.
Yeah.
And I need something deeper, but I'm also afraid of that something as well.
One last thing, sharing warm fuzzies for the pod.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
niece.
as a way to close out. Gratitude, maybe a challenge if you have one, and something that you're excited for next year, for like just speaking of the pod.
So many things for the pod. I feel like how do I describe? I'm doing this. I'm going to say tickle. It feels like a tickle.
Yeah.
In a way where it's like similar to what you said earlier about things that are going to occur in your personal life and career is how I feel about the pod, where it's like as much effort and love and time that we put into making this very special for not only us, but whoever is listening and whenever they are listening. It does make me feel like what we wished for at the very beginning will start to come to fruition. The more people that we meet, that we share our genuine spirit with, and they share it back, understanding that that's a privilege, and that's always the warmest and fuzziest for me.
Yeah.
When someone can reciprocate the energy that we're giving out, and when someone of a certain, I don't want to say status, but like stature, or someone that has like an expert level knowledge of something pays us a compliment in sincerity, is like, I could die.
Yeah.
Truly in that moment. I could just die in that moment. Understanding that the lines of communication have always been open, but I would love to receive more engagement as it relates to just speaking to whoever is listening.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of things of feedback that are more like in-person stuff. It's like, oh, I wanted to comment, or oh, I wanted to say something, but please talk to us. Even if it's something like, hey, even if it's an emoji.
Right.
Like,
that's what I was going to say. What you don't realize about creators when you're on the other side of it is that it helps so much, even if you just comment an emoji, throw a thumbs up, because especially for people like us who are smaller creators who are really building this from the ground up, it's hard. Instagram does not make it easy for us. Apple does not make it easy for us.
Right.
I'm not saying that to complain. Like, I absolutely love this with every fiber of my being.
Correct.
But it is hard as a smaller creator, and that's just the facts.
Yeah. Not because it's this idea to be seen and known and heard.
Right.
I want all those things, but for the right group. And
Right.
if that community is a small community of people, I will cherish that.
Right.
And that's something that I want to manifest for the new year. And what I always put my effort into is understanding that there are more Danies and Christinas out there, and we want to get to know you guys on like a very genuine and personal level so that we can vibe.
Yeah.
Number one, we can understand,
Support each other,
support
even if it's from afar.
Yes, and always empathize with whatever situation it is that we're all experiencing at the same time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. This really is coming from like a place of intention in both of our hearts. Otherwise we wouldn't have done it.
Correct.
We both are busy gals, you know,
Yeah.
like we could be choosing to put this time and energy into other things, but we want to do this. And like Danie said, like not necessarily for selfish gain or for glory, but because we just see a gap that we want to fill. And we just like, we're always coming up with like, oh, this idea and that idea, like this would be so cool. And we are trying to serve people that maybe want the same things as us, because there are all the time where we're like, oh, we wish this existed, or we wish that there was this group, or we wished blah blah blah, fill in the blank that we enjoy doing, that we're passionate about. Like we want to create that space for other people.
Yeah, at this point I suppose I'm begging you to talk to me.
I guess there's a few of you that do consistently,
And I love y'all down.
yes,
I really
for sure.
do.
But we want to make this a party. Like also let us know what you like. It's pretty apparent that we love Love Island and reality shows and musicals and things like that, bands,
We're here to share
musicians.
everyone's interests though.
Right, but what do you like?
Yeah.
Because if you want to hop on and maybe we do like a Zoom or a Patreon on something that you like.
Yeah.
Like we watch a show or we listen to it, like an album release of an artist that we all like, and we just do it live.
Yeah.
Like let's all get on in real time and listen track by track and talk about it. Things like that. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, just fun. We just want like the connection and the community.
Yeah. Which is what we talked about since May.
Yeah.
That it's something that we are all lacking and crave so much. I suppose even if you don't necessarily realize that that's what it is, the connection for a lot of us is just gone or depleted, and it's hard now to do that. So I feel like using social media to our advantage is something that I've always wanted to do. I always love using the internet for what it can be good for. Yeah. And not necessarily sharing all these like false ideologies or ways to live your life that don't even really align with how you want to live your life. It's just someone telling you how you should. And so all that being said, of course, sitting here, one of the things I'm most grateful for are our listeners and the people that tune in every single week, no matter what. You know who you are, and we love when you reach out to us and tell us things that make us feel like we are doing this for a real reason and a real purpose.
But as far as like things like tangible things I'd like to happen, like I would love for us to go to an event. I would love for us to host an event. I'm going to keep it very simple for goals for the next year. That's kind of what I'm wanting. Maybe even like an online event, like I was just saying. But yeah, I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm really grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you.
I think that we've done a really good job. I think that sometimes things like this could be a burden on friendships. And I think that we've done a really good job of like protecting the friendship.
It has the potential to cause divide.
Right. Yeah.
But when you go into it with the idea that you're always meant to collaborate with one another and share ideas and build off of each other's ideas, I think that's what makes it a more beautiful experience. And on top of that, when you start to notice that things are getting a little bit overwhelming or things get a little bit too much, it's the regrouping that really counts.
Yeah.
And making sure that you're listening to one another and acknowledging one another's needs and making sure that you're adapting to those things so that it doesn't burden the relationship and the friendship before you started whatever endeavor it is. It could be going into business together, starting something with someone you've had a relationship with for a long time.
Right. And as we've learned each other more, I think that we've done a good job of like, oh, like that might be hard for her. Like, I know that she likes it this way, or like whatever it may be. Like, I'm going to try and like be mindful of her schedule or whatever it is. I think that we've once we've had the conversation with each other, we're really good at adapting and honoring what each other's needs.
Yes. And it's all about expressing those things in truth, vulnerability, love.
Yeah.
Without accusations.
Right.
Or without false pretenses. Like you could make up an idea about something or
Right.
someone in your head and think like, oh, this was ill-intentioned, or they definitely did that on purpose, knowing that I have la 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 la. When really the other person is just like, I was trying my best.
Right.
So always believing the best in someone else.
Yeah.
And knowing that they're going to have your back. And
Right.
if you're starting to feel like losing traction here a little bit, or we've kind of like lost our way about what's in an alignment for us sitting down, it's like we schedule to make a plan.
Oh, yeah. You have to.
And that is what I think helps guides us along and keeps us on the right track and keeps us in that like creative. It's like when we get into those things, it's almost like there's a bubble and then our brains share the bubble.
Yeah.
That's how we feel.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Because we're juggling so many things, there's so many variables that can knock the podcast off kilter. Say one of us is sick, one of us, has to work, or there's another obligation, or maybe a guest is sick and can't come, or whatever it is. It's like there always has to be a plan B. So it's like having a plan has just made this more seamless because it doesn't feel so chaotic.
Right.
We know exactly like, oh, if this happens, okay, we'll just move this around. We'll put this there. We'll put that there.
And we've had to do that plenty of times so far.
Yeah.
So knowing that that's something that's very beneficial for our brains and our relationship has really helped a lot. So obviously being on this couch, I wouldn't be, like I've said before, I wouldn't be sat here with anyone else.
Right.
Because no one would understand the level of execution to which I need things done.
Right.
And same for her.
Right. And the effort. We're always willing to put in the effort, and sometimes things don't work out the way that we want to, but we know that at least the other person, we're trying.
Oh, yeah.
It's not for like being willy-nilly. You're like, I just didn't feel like it. It was like, I genuinely ran out of time. This wasn't working. Technology, Mercury in retrograde, whatever. It's
Everything
like,
in retrograde.
there's always a reason, and like we can count on each other. Let's just say that. That's
it.
That is the overarching of what I'm trying to say right now. We can count on each other, and we know.
Find the bitch that you can count on.
Yes.
And then arrest her, handcuff her, tie her to somewhere.
And say, you're not going anywhere, bitch.
Literally.
But
I don't care what you think or feel. Guess what?
Yeah.
You're here for life.
I don't know if any of that, this
can never
last
leave.
part was helpful to any of you
Because I'll
guys,
find you.
Yeah.
And with that, we should pray.
We should. I do want to say, though, I would love to hear from you guys. What are your reflections for the year? What are things you're proud of yourself for? What are challenges that you had? And what are things that you're looking forward to in 2025?
I like that. Really, like, if you can't think of anything else as far as like, how can I reflect on this year? I would really like to know at least just one thing, even if you think it's small. It is not. We start small here. Just choose something that you're proud of yourself for doing or not doing.
That too. That's always
There's
an
lots
option.
of stuff I did not do this year that I'm actually very proud of.
Yeah.
Period.
And with that, let us pray. Spirit, grant me the serenity to take moments of reflection.
The courage to speak my intentions into existence.
And the wisdom to not read a bitch when she tries me.
And so it is. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's EA meeting.
If you liked this episode, please share it with a friend and leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple or Spotify. We'd love to hear from you.
You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Empaths Anonpod.
Don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts or subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when we release a new episode.
We'll meet you back here on the Green Velvet Couch next time.
Bye, feelers!